Hi, how are we all? Are we good? Yeah, good. Thank you for having me on stage and organising another wonderful event. To Minnie and to George. I'm sure we can all agree that we love this industry, right? And that's why we're here today to celebrate this industry. I do not get as big as I am without loving this industry, right? So I'm a big fan of eating out and food as well. So what am I here for today? I'm here from GrowDash. Who are we or what do we do? We are a restaurant analytics and business intelligence tool. And a word that's been cropping up a lot in different presentations and different kind of roundtable discussions is the word data. And I've heard that word quite a lot today already. And that's kind of the space that we play in, right? Is using data or analyzing data and using this effectively to build and execute profitable growth strategies. And that's exactly what we do at GrowDash. Cool. I think before we start talking about data and looking at just how we can use and analyze data, I think it's important to understand just where the market's at here in the UE and in the wider GCC region. Cool. So there's some figures to the right there that really jump out, and those figures there, when I look at those figures, what I see there is opportunity. And I think you guys as restaurant brands would look at those figures and think, wow, that's a lot of opportunity for my restaurant brand right there in terms of growth, in terms of target audience and market that you could go after. Now you can see on the map just the markets that we as GrowDash currently playing. Here in the UE, where our head office is. We're also live in Kuwait, Qatar, and we're launching Saudi in Q1 and also the UK, but we're not here to talk about the UK today. So just looking at the restaurant brands, the total number of restaurant brands here in the UE currently sits at over 8,000. Now that's a massive amount of restaurant brands. That's every single one of your competition, right? And attracting the customers that your competitors have is all about strategy, and it's getting one step ahead of your competitors. Now, in terms of locations, there's currently over 35,000 restaurant locations in this region or in this country, which is a massive amount, right? So that means wherever you're located or whatever aggregator you're on, there's going to be several other competitors after the same customers you are. Now, the money side of things is what really kind of alerts me. If we look at GMV last year, our total GMV in dollars last year, that was roughly around $5 billion in this country that was brought from food delivery and from your brands alone. Now, if we look at average order value and just where that sits, that's currently around 73 dirhams, which compared to some other markets or compared to some other countries, it's kind of round about the same as Saudi and just a little less than we have in Kuwait. Now, this is the most exciting figure. Between 2022 and the end of 2025, the industry or that figure there, that $5 billion figure, is estimated to grow by around about 20%. Which is going to be what? Quick calculation, test my maths, around about $8 million. And the estimate is that roughly around about 40% of that is going to sit on food delivery. So what's the problem? So what's the problem that we've currently faced? Now, we're working with over 250 restaurant brands at the moment. And the biggest issue that kept arising was restaurant brands are currently investing 15% of their total GMV back into marketing and discount tools to fuel their growth. But the issue is they're just not seeing the returns, right? So you have all this wonderful ad tech that's available to you across your food aggregators, but you just aren't seeing the return that you wish. And that's kind of how GrowDash was born. So the poor returns that were being seen, what we did is we analyzed and we researched and we spent lots of time with restaurant brands and we tried to suss out what is the issue here, why restaurant brands aren't fueling their growth through marketing technology? And the answer was quite simple, or it's a one-word answer. It's the same word that keeps popping up in every discussion, panel discussion, every presentation we see, and that word is data. We've split that into kind of 4 buckets. So you'll see those 4 buckets there on the screen, and 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe all of them are going to really ring home to you thinking, oh my word, that's the issue we're experiencing at the moment. And that's what we hear from restaurant brand to restaurant brand to restaurant brand. And that's why GrowDash was born. So those 4 buckets, the first one is not utilizing data. Now, food aggregators have got some amazing data, amazing data. There's data on everything through food aggregators, but perhaps you just simply aren't utilizing that data in the correct way. The second one is too much raw data. So the data that you receive will be sent through to you in different forms, but it's very raw, right? It's not translatable. It's not, you can't have actions or strategy on the back of raw data. And the final one, the third one, is isolated data. So you have the same data, right? But it's sitting in different places at the moment. So comparing like for like across different sets of data can be quite difficult. And if you're a big restaurant brand with lots of sites, or a multi-brand company with hundreds of sites, comparing all of that data across aggregators, across all your sites, across all your brands, it's a lot of work. It'll cost you a lot of money as well to do that. The last thing is human-led growth insights. So perhaps you're relying heavily on your account managers to make decisions for you. Does that align with your bigger strategy or your wider strategy? I don't know, but perhaps it does or doesn't. The next thing is internal assumptions. So we look at data and we make some assumptions ourselves, or some trial and error. Let's try X, let's try Y, let's try Z. And we sit and wait for a month or 2, and then we find, lo and behold, the return hasn't worked. And that leads us nicely into, as if it was a sales pitch, the solution, which is us, GrowDash. So what do we do there? You can read the kind of, that line kind of really describes what we do best. We democratize campaign performance and online sales data, which empowers you guys as restaurants to seamlessly build, execute, and manage profitable growth strategies across all sales channels. Now, I'm just going to leave you with 3 questions before I jump off stage. And these 3 questions to you are these. The first question is, do your colleagues currently have access to the right kind of data? The second one is, are they utilizing that data in the right way to fuel your growth strategies? And the third question is, would technology benefit your colleagues to help them or empower them to fuel growth? And I'd love for you guys to pop over to our booth on B14 and have a conversation with myself and with my colleagues about, how you're currently using data, utilizing data, the impact that we can have with you. But look, thank you very much for sitting and listening to me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.